Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Curtain, Episode 4, Week 4. You know the format by now. It's a series where every week I go ahead and talk about my week. I invite you guys to do the same, and I talk about a topic that has been very relevant to that week as well. We've kind of hit like a month now, right? 4 weeks is a month, so we take those. We take those. The fact that I've consistently done this for a month, we'll see. I want to keep doing it. I'm not sat there like thinking, oh man, I have to do this right now. So hopefully we'll keep on going. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this week. It's been a what's the word? I would say roller coaster, but that would imply there's been ups and downs, and I would say there's been many ups, but I'm an idiot. But yeah, so this week. Of course, it starts at least for the content of these videos on Saturday, and basically I had this really great event that I was super excited for on Saturday. It's one of those things where I'm sure everybody's the same. Where you have one of these things that comes around every once or twice a year. You get really excited for. It's gonna be a great time. You just get to forget, relax, and just enjoy your day. And it didn't go very well. It's basically like a gaming thing that I've been excited for a while. I often kind of keep myself going by having small goals to look ahead at, and that was definitely one of them. One of the more prevalent ones, and it came, and I was super excited, and it just did not live up to my expectations. And by that I mean it kind of fell apart, and it just really wasn't great at all. Long story short, it basically just people just were having rough days, so nobody was kind of themselves, and everything just kind of fell apart, and it just the day kind of just became very meh, which was a big shame. I do sort of volunteering there. I help set up stuff and help manage everything works well and all that sort of stuff, but and that'll be relevant for a comment I'll make in a minute. But yeah, it was a real shame, and I'd be lying if I wasn't sad afterwards, because like I say, when you have those things that you sit there and get excited for, and they just don't live up to your expectations, it's rough. It's rough. It hurts, and I guess it is what it is. But ideally, that wouldn't happen. Now, one of the big things that was brought up on my god, one of the big things that was brought up on Saturday, this big all day thing, which maybe it hindered my enjoyment of it a little bit, was we started talking about jobs and that sort of thing, and I basically had a conversation with a bunch of people who, they're all much older than me, is probably a pretty fair way to put it, about life, right? About life and about jobs, and they were basically saying how they didn't envy the position I was in. It's awful, and all this stuff, and it got to a point where they were like, it's what it is, I don't envy your position, but you got to go through it. And it's a weird stance for me, because it put me in a very jaded mindset, that combined with the whole, just that event not being what I wanted it to be, or anybody really wanted it to be. It made me a little bit jaded, because I would start there thinking, man, I'm so sick and tired of just being told that, oh, this is bad, but everybody has to do it. I don't know, maybe it sounds stupid, but in my mind, this week had a lot of, I'm just so bored of being told how things have to be, And it's not like I can do much about it, but, when you want to speak to somebody about something, and you're not feeling great, but at least in my case, I never really want to be I don't want to message somebody and be I'm just not feeling great right now. Could you try and help me or whatever? That just feels wrong. But you message somebody and you try and segue it into oh, I'm not feeling too good right now. And then, they start speaking to you, and it's nice, to get stuff off your chest or whatever. But then, sometimes they just, don't say the things you want to hear. And if anything, they kind of say things which just kind of make everything a lot worse. And that was kind of that situation. Although, I guess not a lot worse is a bit of a stretch. It wasn't a lot worse, but it just kind of, it just didn't help, It's it's all stuff I kind of already knew. It's I'm just tired. I just want it to be told something good. Like, you know, that things will be okay, that they will look. I mean, I know they will, but you know when you just want to hear it. You just want to hear somebody say the things you want to hear, you know? Like it, and it sounds so stupid because of course, but I'm sure you guys can get what I mean. But yeah, anyway, after that, Sunday was just kind of normal. And then the week started, and we started working on a little project, you know, a little nice passion thingy. I guess I'll announce it the first time here. It's, you know, it's not like it's going to be a huge thing that's going to blow the internet up. But, yeah, we're doing another Lads album. End of this year, we're doing a Lads New Year album. So I spent a lot of this week trying to finalize details on it and get everybody together and get recording and preparing for that. So spent a lot of time working on the songs I'm on for the album, and I'm still nowhere near done with that. But yeah, that's exciting. I got some new people on it, some potential new people on it. We try and do more like actual like project songs this time rather than just everybody has a solo. Really excited for that, can't wait. And that's been kind of filling up the majority of my week. And then basically after, you know, a couple days passed, I still kind of had the whole all that game stuff still in my mind. You know, I was just a little upset still about just the way it all went. And actually, it reminds me I need to do something, but I'll get to that in a second. So, you know, afterwards, I'm just not in a great mood, and my mum can kind of tell. I'm very much, like, good normally at, like, holding my emotions, if you get what I mean, like, especially around people. I hate burdening people with my own struggles, and I know that's, like, is that toxic masculinity? Probably, but, like, that's just how I am. I hate bringing the mood down just because I'm not feeling great, but this time, I feel like it's one of those moments where it's, like, I kind of just, like, I wasn't feeling great, and I kind of just, part of me wanted somebody to talk to about it, and my mum was like, "Are you alright?" And I kind of voiced my, like, I didn't say I wasn't okay, but I just didn't use my usual response of just like, yeah, you know. And we ended up having a long conversation at night, and she was basically just, it was the thing I wanted to hear, of, you know, she was reassuring me, she was telling me that, you know, it doesn't, you know, not everything does have to be like everybody says it is. Things can be different and stuff like that. And it's like, is it kind of a delusional mindset? Maybe, but it was something I really wanted to hear, and it was a conversation. Oh, I'm an idiot. It was a conversation I really wanted to hear, and it helped because I just sat there and I was like, thank you. You know, it reminds me a lot about media that I really enjoy, and I'm going to talk about this point specifically more in another week because I was kind of going to do it this week, but then another point came out which I feel like is more relevant. About kind of doing your own thing and stuff like that. But yeah, it really helped because I just struggle with that a lot, of the kind of thought of like, I don't want to just sit and waste my life. I'm sick of it, you know, like I said, I'm sick of being told things have to be a certain way, you know? We're all different. They shouldn't be a certain way, you know? But yeah, after that, and it came to basically Thursday, last night, and my stupid ass decided to stay up to watch the Game Awards, right? And if you guys watched the Game Awards, you'll know that it was the most disappointing gaming conference like ever. I like sit down and often watch a lot of game thingies and get excited for Nintendo Directs, whatever. But I actually don't think I've ever watched one where there hasn't been a single thing that I liked in it. Like I sat there and was like, oh, this is cool. Like, maybe I'm just a hater, but like genuinely, I can't believe I sat up in bed till 4 a.m. watching that with my goddamn headphones in for there not to be a single bit of information that I wanted or cared about. And also the ethics behind, like, they basically like timed how long companies could talk about how happy they were about their award and thanking people. They timed them and then had like a little screen that said, please hurry up. Like, what? That's crazy. But yeah, and that was a massive disappointment, and you know, I really wish I didn't do that, but it is what it is. And then we get to today. And last night and today, I guess, pretty much had a thought on my mind about a theme that's been running recently this week as well, about Minecraft events. Just gaming in general, and, you know, with recent gaming trends, like Lethal Company and stuff, I feel like it's pretty relevant, and I wanted to talk about it a lot today. And it's about change, I guess, just in general. It's just, theme is just basically about change and kind of how much I struggle with it, at least, or how much the world changes, if you get what I mean. So, there was like a big thing this week, a Minecraft event, which has had quite a few issues struggling internally, and everybody wants everything to work out. What? Everyone wants everything to work out for Minecraft events because we also want to have fun. We give a lot of feedback. At least that's like a main thing I try and do. And yeah, so this event released like a big form. They wanted feedback to go to their main orgs because they heard a lot of rumblings, people not feeling great about everything going on at the moment. And it kind of got me thinking, you know what? Kind of is hard to do a lot of these things. Like, it kind of is hard to, there's a lot of difficulties with managing a Minecraft event. And what are the main reasons for that? And it just got me thinking of, like, other events I played recently. And it got me thinking of just all the life stuff. And I was like, man, change sucks. And I've kind of always had this mindset. I think I struggle a lot with change because it kind of links to the thing I said earlier. It's like, I kind of just want to have people that I can confide in all the time. Like, if stuff goes bad, I want to still have things that I'm like, I'm going to have this at the end of the day. If an event goes bad, I want to still be like, I'm going to have this. There's so much change, right? And even less than events, right? It's like, I can't sit there and be like, maybe, it's a thing I struggle with. I can't just sit there and be like, oh, you know what? This may not have gone well, but, there'll be another one coming up soon. Because it won't always be the same, right? We live in, like, a temporary thing. And it got me thinking about Minecraft in general, right? And how the skill ceiling in Minecraft has changed so incredibly high to the point where so much of the game is not fun anymore. At least to me, right? Like, remember, like, 2 years ago when no one knew a technique for a parkour jump? And parkour was just, you were good at it, or you, like, weren't great at it. You guys remember that? But now there's, like, oh, that jump's a 2-tick. Oh, you have to jam for this jump. Oh, you have to do a Pessy for this jump. Like, you guys remember, like, when that just wasn't a thing, right? Like, when parkour is just parkour, but now you just got people who, like, and power to them, for getting better, but, like, I'm kind of sick of it, I'm sick of things changing, because we were talking about, feedback for an event and how they had a parkour game and how it just doesn't work because of the skill ceiling now. It just doesn't. People are too good now. Like, the difference in skill is too high, so that the best of the best are too good, so you have to make things hard so that they actually have difficulty. And then if you make stuff too hard, then everybody else doesn't get to have fun. Huge power. And the same thing happens with PvP, right? Like, back during MC testing when I was known as, like, the best PvPer, I didn't even properly know how to crit, bro. And nobody did. That's why I was known as one of the better PvPers, right? But I was known just because of a crossbow. I was known because of just awareness, not because of, like, actual, like, mechanical stuff. And now, like, if you don't know how to, like, crit chain, W tap, you'll lose, like, a ton of fights. And it's like, man, I'm so sick of things changing, like events, right? You sit there and enjoy something around an event, and it'll come up, and next event is going to be entirely different now. And it's like, you're never going to go back. You're never going to be able to go back to how it was, right? You never. And I guess the moral of the story is, I've got to learn how to savor things before they're gone. Because I think, as humans in general, we often take things for granted. It's just a human trait is we keep on striving to want to improve and be better, right? Like, but we do it so much as a whole that it becomes negative in my mind, at least. Like, how long is Minecraft gonna last now that we've hit this skill ceiling? Like, I said this in my like taking a break video. I can't get any better now at Minecraft. I've hit my, like, apex. Because there's not much for me to learn. I'm not great at parkour. I never will be. Like, I know the techniques. Like, I did a Black Miner map because I was told the techniques by one of my friends. Like, I can do it, but I'm just not good. I'm just not good enough. Mechanically, I just don't have that level of skill that other people have. And there's no other improvement because everybody else is just radically moving to improve, and I can't meet that, right? And it's a shame because we kind of start ruining the things we care about the most because we have this innate, like, need to improve constantly. We have this innate need to improve. Yet, like, you know, for people like me, like, I don't want things to change, right? And like I say, not wanting change is like a pretty bad thing. It's a pretty bad mindset. It's just a thing I struggle with just because, like, past, like, when I was younger and stuff like that, I don't have a lot of permanence, and if there's anything I want, it's just, even if stuff sucks sometimes, I just want to know that things will be okay. And, like, if you have a bad day, you've got, you know, something or some people are going to be there. And you know, it sounds like I'm kind of, like, living my people down. I don't know if that's the way to word it, but, like, obviously I do have really great friends. I do have some friends that I'm really close that I confide in all the time, but it's just hard to see that as permanent, you know? It's hard to sit there and not be afraid of how that's all going to change because of just how much I've had to deal with change and how sick and tired of I am and how it literally negatively impacts, at least in my head, every aspect of my life. Like, I just want some things to stay the same, you know? It's like Block Wars. Block Wars was better before it was before the roster split, right? Because, you know, I work well with CCs, I work well with all my friends, and the roster was all that. That was literally the majority of the roster. It was like, you know, 10%, 20% of people that I just didn't know and wouldn't team with. Other than that, I was pretty comfortable with, like, everybody, right? And, you know, change happened, and all that stuff changed. And I guess it was never going to be able to, like, logistically, I understand things can never just always be the same, right? Like, I get it, right? But I'm sick and tired of some things not being able to, like, stick somewhat the same. Like with Block Wars changes so much. Like, obviously, I mean, I don't mean get in quite often now, but, like, just, like, the roster is now entirely different. The game rotations are entirely different. It's just not what it was. It's never going to be what it was, you know? The highs, in my opinion, of events like Mania, for example, don't get me wrong, I still love the event, but, like, the highs of Mania were in my opinion, when it was Team to 3, and obviously things changed. And I just have to deal with that. But it's a shame. But it is what it is. Mayhem's the same, you know? Like, the highs, in my opinion, were before Mayhem, you know, had to expand and expand in a certain way, which I didn't think was the right way to do. But I just have to cope with those things. And I guess I just need to learn more to kind of both accept change and just savor the things I have before they're gone. Because we do that a lot. I'm not speaking for myself only. You know, as humans, we do it a lot where we don't know what we have until we don't have it anymore. And it's one of the things I want to make sure I kind of get better with. But it is a real shame because I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm curious what you guys think anyway. This week more than others, I'm really curious what your guys' thoughts on a lot of these topics are. You know, what's your thoughts on the whole things, you know, this is how things are, or the whole things change. Because I do think it's one of the things I struggle with the most is change. Because I guess the would be scarring, which is ironic considering how we talked about the Arv Kintsugi and stuff recently. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a thing I struggle with a lot, and I just really wish I didn't. But I guess there's just not really much I can do about it. But anyway, I think that's about all I wanted to talk about this week. Soon, I've got a couple of ideas for other video topics and stuff I want to talk about, so I'll get around to them fairly soon. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I really do appreciate any viewership support and all that sort of stuff on this sort of content, because I get it's not for everybody. I understand that, and I appreciate it a lot. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Like I say always, please comment and talk about your weeks, talk about your thoughts on the topics I mentioned, and I'll try my best to reply and talk to all of you as well. So thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye, guys.